Welcome back to the I.A.M podcast. Glory. Okay, the I.A.M podcast where it all matters. Okay, the space where we remember. Okay, that every breath, every emotion, every moment, every part of our journey, it all matters. Glory. All right, so today is really special for me. All right, what we're talking about today is I know I said we was probably going to be talking about shadow work, but Spirit is gearing us towards healing heartbreak. Yes, as the divine chosen ones, we all have experienced betrayal, disappointment, sadness, heartbreak, you know? And I wanted to talk about how that is beneficial for healing the whole world. When you heal this heartbreak, when you heal the heartbreak that you have experienced and you begin to look at it in a different perspective, it in turns heals the world. And that's why, like, we've suffered a lot. Some of us, even through our childhood, we've been disappointed, okay, heartbroken throughout our childhood. So a lot of us don't even know what, true unconditional love is. And so healing this heartbreak right here, the kind of heartbreak that cracks you open, okay, the kind of heartbreak that leaves you like searching for air, literally your body hurting, okay, you not understanding what's going on, okay, up at night, okay, can't sleep type shit, all right, but this kind of heartbreak I've learned to honor, right? When it becomes healed, like I said, it becomes a doorway to something greater. So I'm really excited to talk about this. So we're just going to take a breath because breath work is very important along this journey. Okay, some of us don't even know how to breathe correctly. All right, so let's get into it. All right, so heartbreak. Now we all experience heartbreak in different ways, right? All experience heartbreak in different ways. um, we carry it like okay. So our heart breaks when the death, when somebody who, anytime something dies, okay, we experience some kind of heartbreak, whether that be the death of a loved one, whether that be a relationship or a dream. All right, all of those are disappointing. All those are very heartbreaking. That's why it doesn't really matter the action, and this is what spirit is getting me to see more and more every day. Because people love to try to compare trauma here. You know what I'm saying? But you can't compare trauma. Okay, you can't compare trauma. All right, you literally have to know. Hold on. So we back. Sorry, y'all. My the battery was dying. And it's funny because I was on my walk the other day, and I seen somebody jump starting, their car here. And that's what Spirit is saying about the collective. We are being jump started. And part of that is because you chose to heal, this heartbreak, this sadness, this disappointment. Nothing is ever a coincidence. When I tell you, when you lock in with God like this, baby, that's the one thing that's going to help you heal your heartbreak. God has loved me back to my joy. God is the one who has literally helped me have compassion, and helped me forgive, okay? Not for them, but for me. So I could create peace in my life. And also then radiate unconditional love, in turn, healing the collective, right? So let's get back into it. So we all carry some sort of heartbreak here, right? And so often we're told to like be strong, move on, suck it up, buttercup. You know what I'm saying? Especially if you're a man. If you're a man, they're expecting you not to have any kind of emotions. And you know what, man? I love y'all so much, okay? And again, Spirit said y'all are human before you're a man. So you have emotions too, and it's really imperative that our divine masculines, that you guys heal your heartbreak too, right? You deserve a healthy love. You deserve a healthy family life, right? You deserve to be honored, cherished, and respected and valued, okay? So, this is for you too. All right, this is for any. Go ahead and send this out or share this video. Okay, make sure you like, comment, subscribe, share, okay, to somebody who might need this light along their path, who is struggling with healing heartbreak and understanding why certain things happen. And speaking of that, spirit is like, I used to ask God, like, why? Why this happened, why that happened. And God began to tell me, look, why do dogs bark? Why do cats meow? Why do birds chirp? Okay? This is what they do. Okay? So this is why we cannot have our focus on the why, because it keeps us stuck in a cycle. It doesn't matter why. After it happens, it is no longer relevant. Okay? At that point, it's more of purging out and releasing, grieving. Thank you, God. Grieving what is lost, grieving what is dead, right? Grieving what broke your heart, and then reaffirming what you deserve, what you know here. All right? Heartbreak carries a lot of weight, not just emotionally, but spiritually and biologically too. And we're going to go into that. Let me explain. Okay? Because if we don't handle it, it's going to show up in many ways. It manifests in many ways. Okay? I always tell you, right? Pain and dis-ease in your body will create disease. Okay? In your body. Okay, so it's very important. That's why I offer my chakra alignment courses, right? Meditations. Okay, every week, so you can come in and get that energy clear, get it moving. Make sure you're moving. That's why exercise and stuff is good. That's why I do yoga every day. It's not just because it's not just because of that, right? It is literally because I have to be able to move energy. I can't let energy get stuck and stagnant, because then I get stuck and stagnant. Okay, we as humans do that, right? So let's get into it. So I took notes. Okay, so biologically, our our body, okay, it feels the heartbreak. And this one is very dear to me. When my mother and my father got divorced, this is what showed me, like, we're going to get into it. Okay, so when we bond with someone or something, our brain releases feel good chemicals, right? And I always say, like, and this is why, like, this is what breaks our heart so much, because we feel like our love or our identity or who we are, is in that person, instead of just appreciating the interconnection or the connection that it was when it was, right? We tend to want to hoard it and hold on to it, because we see our value, when it's only because you are actually loving yourself. You are just giving that person the credit for what you're doing, because it's reflecting from the inside of you. Okay, that love, even if it turned bad, right? That love was a reflection of the inside of you. The only thing is, you didn't know it, and so you were giving that energy to somebody else when it was always you. It was always because you had the love for yourself. All right, but it releases chemicals like dopamine and oxytocin. Okay, now when that bond breaks, those chemicals, they tend to go away, they drop. Okay, and the body feels withdrawals, and this is real. This is real. This is why we be feeling like that. When we feel like we love somebody or we feel like we like somebody, those chemicals start, it gets exciting, and then boom, right? And so your body tends to go through withdrawals. Love is a drug, okay? That's why they say that. Love is a drug, okay? Now, heartbreak, it activates the same part as your brain as physical pain. That's why it can hurt in your chest, your stomach, and it makes it hard to breathe. And say that. Okay, how many of us have been through heartbreak where it has literally been hard to breathe? Okay, like I can remember, like, you don't want to eat, you can't get up, you got headaches. Like, who wants to constantly live like that? Okay, nobody. All right, so it also triggers a stress response. Releasing cortisol and adrenaline, which can cause anxiety, exhaustion, and even a racing heart, right? Palpitations in your heart. Now, there's a reason they call it a broken heart. Okay, because your body literally, it really does react like it's being shattered. And that's what I said. It's something about a pain that can't be seen, or it can't be, like, there's no medicine for it. Okay, like when you get heartbroken, there's no pill that you can take. There's nothing that, I mean, you can use distractions to numb it, you know what I'm saying, but it's still there. And that's part of shadow work, right? That's why spirit wants, a lot of the times, if you are doing extracurricular activities, smoking, drinking, going out, dibble dabbling. That's why a lot of the time spirit will call you away from that, because it's time for you to face that darkness, face that hurt head on. Okay, so you can know how strong you are to be able to heal properly, so you can have a healthy love here. Now, emotionally, heartbreak can stir up anger, it can stir up grief, loneliness, confusion. Okay, all sort of deeper layers, right? So, like I was saying before, the loss of identity, old wounds of rejection, of abandonment, and say that there, okay? And a fear that you won't find love again. And y'all, fear, okay? Loss, all these are low vibrational emotions. And these emotions will keep you in a low vibrational emotion, okay? It will keep you in a low vibration, excuse me, right? And if you are in a low vibration, you just gonna keep manifesting low vibrational shit, right? So a lot of the times I hear people like, "Well, I don't want this, and my man ain't gonna, my woman ain't gonna have that." Like, the universe does not understand yes or no, do or don't. Right, so and this could be why some of your manifestations aren't coming in, right? Because you're focusing on what you do not want instead of what you do want. Okay, so it's imperative that you catch the thoughts and then you transmute them and you rewire your brain, right? uh, you can find love. It's not about, if you are healing and you're doing the work and you begin to know your worth, because that's usually a lot of why this happens, except it's, if it's like the death of a parent or something like that. But I'm talking about like relationships and things like that. You will continue to attract the same kind of friends, the same kind of lovers, okay? Because there's something, that a fear of abandonment, all right, that fear of you're never going to get love again. That those are the reasons why you keep attracting the same type of individuals. You deserve a healthy divine love, okay? So stop focusing on that and speaking life on your over yourself. Life and death lies in the power of the tongue. So say to yourself, I deserve a healthy love. Okay, I'm attracting a healthy love. Okay, I am wanted. I am valued. I am cared for. All right. So it's not just the person you're. It's not just the dream you're mourning or the person you're mourning. It is the story that you've built around it. Right. So a lot of the times, I talk about, the sisterhood I created, that dismantled, right? Because I was in my ego a lot, right? So it took me almost a year and a half to grieve that and to heal that, because of the dream that I saw around it, right? And a lot of it, like I said, I was dwelling a lot in my ego, so I was worried about numbers, and I worried about, validation, and I was worried about opportunities, right? I was out of alignment when it was built, but that didn't matter when it crumbled. Okay, that was devastating for me. It broke my heart. They didn't break my heart. That's what I understand now. They didn't break my heart. It was the dream around something that I had created on the inside of me, that I had put a lot of time and energy and love and passion into, for it not to work out, right? So I had to mourn that dream, that wasn't. But see, God is rebuilding something else, okay? So it's just like, yeah, that didn't work, and that's okay, because when God closes a door, 10 more open, right? So I had to mourn that dream, because I had a dream. Okay, I had a dream and it didn't work out the way that I want to. So I had to give my time to grieve that, right? So yeah, so there's a spiritual weight. Heartbreak can shake the sense of meaning, okay, about your beliefs about love, or your connection to something greater. And that's what it did. Okay, it triggered me. You know what I'm saying? Because of how things happen, I was like, I can't trust nobody. You know what I'm saying? Everybody's an op. Everybody's out to get me. I'm not capable of being a leader. I'm not capable of creating things. All these things are our wounded ego. All these things were things that were coming up, okay? Spiritual wise, like, am I doubting myself as being a prophetess? Like, because I know what God, the dreams that God has showed me. But with that right there is what I was creating, not what God wanted to create. And so I had to come to terms with that. And so it took me through something spiritually. That's how heartache it can be used for your benefit. It can either keep you stuck in a cycle, or you can use that and turn that pain into power and allow it to evolve you and elevate you. Okay, because it turned me into something greater. I thought I lost something when I gained so much. Okay, so much wisdom, so much clarity, so much confidence within myself. Okay, it turned me into a beast, really. All right, so losing things that I put so much effort in, so much, I put like a lot of, what's the word that I'm looking for, God? Value. Thank you. In it. And I should have put all that value within my God and myself. Okay. And so I had to learn to do that before I started creating something else, right? So I could be spiritually sound and allow God to lead and be able to navigate these crazy waters, right? Because challenges don't stop. Okay, I'm pretty sure that's not going to be the last time my heart gets broken, right? But at the end of the day, now it won't take me out. Okay, stuff used to take me out for months when my heart was broken. All right, so this last part, years. Okay, so but now I know. Okay, with God, when I yoke myself to God, I have no burdens. Okay, my burdens become light, and so now I know how to navigate through that. All right. So when you're in a heartbreak, you're not being dramatic, you're being human. Okay. And I do want to say that it's a full body, full heart, full soul experience. Okay. So let's talk about, hold on. Sorry, y'all. So we're gonna talk about the stages of heartbreak. Okay. Feel, accept, release, transform. I like that. All right. So let's see here. So heartbreak, it really is a sacred journey, and I don't think that we look at it like that, right? We don't. I know we don't. Because so many people are bitter. So many people are bitter, and they don't, because they don't take the time to heal, or they don't take time to see it from another perspective. They will continue to project onto other people, blame God, even blame everyone, but take accountability for the part that they played. And then, like I said, being appreciative of everything that has happened, because it all matters. It all matters, all of it. So the very fact that you went through that, there were several reasons why you went through that, but you went through that. Is it going to grow you? Okay. Is it going to grow you or bury you? And even if it buries you, you can still produce something from it if you can learn how to root yourself. Okay, come on, God. Okay, root yourself in source. All right, so you can produce. Okay, and harvest that is plentiful. Okay, so feeling the pain. Okay, don't run from it. Okay, let it be seen. And a lot of us, especially our men, they try to suppress it. You don't need to suppress it. That's why I'm so glad that some men have creative outlets, whether that's art, okay, any kind of art, music, poetry, painting, drawing, building stuff with their hands, wire wrapping, whatever it is. Even with women, you got to find some kind of creative outlet, all right, to put all that energy into. So feel the pain. I always say acknowledge your emotions. That is part of healing. That is the first step to healing in my 5-step healing journey, right? Acknowledging, okay? Being able to acknowledge that you're hurt and identify. Because a lot of the times we don't be identifying the correct, what the energy is, okay? Some of us think grief is anger, right? No, you must be able to sit with yourself and see, okay, I'm angry. Allow yourself to be angry. Your feelings are valid. Okay, this is grief. Let me grieve. Let me mourn. Let me cry it out. Okay, tears and tears, because it's only watering what you got coming up next, right? And then begin to accept what has happened. Okay, feel the pain, accept it. All right, it is what it is. Okay, this happened. And people die from a broken heart. I say that all the time. And my mama showed me that. After her and my dad got divorced, she never was herself again, ever. She stopped caring about herself. She already had diabetes, you know what I'm saying? So she just stopped taking care of herself, and I'm sure all that pain in her body, because she didn't know how to express it either. Okay, very stubborn woman, Taurus woman, very stubborn. right? So she didn't know how to express it. And it wasn't much longer. I think it was like a couple of years after they got divorced that she passed away. All right. And I just realized, like, the other day, I was really thinking about her and missing her and grieving her some more because when she died, it was so quick. You know what I'm saying? I didn't get a chance to grieve. I had to do a lot. I had to write her obituary. I had to pick out her clothes. I had to plan her funeral. You know what I'm saying? So I never got a chance to fully grieve that heartbreak, right? So this is why healing is a journey, not a destination, right? But again, I had to learn how to accept. She should have accepted the fact she was a great woman with many qualities, okay? That she could have done many things, right? But because she couldn't accept, and that's a lot of our issues, we tend to not to want to accept. Okay, look, this happened. Okay, why did it happen? Did I not love myself enough? Did I give too much of myself? Okay, because a lot of us are now learning how to stand in our power. We're being independent. All right, we're learning how to be self-sufficient, self-reliant. We're learning how to depend and lean on God and our ancestors. All right, we're becoming whole within ourselves, so we can attract other whole individual, healthy relationship, divine connections here, and then be able to release. Okay, release it. Feel it, accept it, release it. And how do you release it? I just gave you many of ways of how to channel that energy into something creative. Dance, go skate, do yoga, exercise, work out. Okay, but don't let that take place of it. Okay, because some people will work out to suppress it because they skip the first part. They skip the feeling part. They may try to accept it. They may work on ways to release it, but they don't allow themselves to fully feel and acknowledge their emotions and be okay with it. It doesn't make you weak to cry, okay? It doesn't make you weak to be like, damn, okay? Call it out. When I talk to a lot of my clients and we do a lot of inner childhood healing, when I have them going back to like their mothers or their fathers, like it'd be real hard for them to say anything and not so much as negative, but what their parents could have done better, right? Because they feel like, especially if they passed away, because one, we've been talking, not to speak ill of the dead, right? But they can't seem to express the because they think they being disrespectful. Your feelings matter. You're human, and you have to be real with yourself and acknowledge the feelings of the heartbreak. Okay, uh, like we go through stages, right? So bitterness, sadness, resentment, regret, like all those are emotions that we supposed to feel, and you have the right to feel them. Just don't stay there, beloved. All right, because if you constantly stay in a state of resentment, you're gonna become a resentful person. Okay, if you constantly stay in the state of bitterness, you're gonna become a bitter person. This is not the life that you should live. This is how you put yourself in your own hell because of a situation that has disappointed you or that has broken your heart. When if it closed, if it ended, then it was supposed to. A lot of us be wanting to control things because we didn't have any control of our lives when we were younger. So we be wanting to. We feel like we can control certain things, and they're just certain things that we cannot control. And people and situations that are ended are one of them. Accepting it, okay, and then releasing it, and then transforming that pain into wisdom. And how do you do that? Like I said, what we just did, sitting down, processing it, looking at it from a higher perspective, forgiving yourself for making the choice, for choosing that person, choosing that situation, knowing that it's okay that you did, knowing that it was still for your benefit. Look at you overcoming. Look at you got through. There is nothing that you lack that's on the inside of you. Okay? Nothing that has broken your heart or disappointed you, you absolutely need. Because if you did, God would have it there for you. God gives you all that you need, beloved. Okay? All you got to do is keep looking towards the hills with cometh your help. Don't get stuck on the past. Don't keep revisiting the past over and over again and getting stuck there, because then you're going to bring that past into your future and you're going to continue to manifest it here. Okay? So, look, write letters. I used to tell people, especially people like, especially our fathers, right? The dads, right? Who they have crazy baby mamas and they won't let their the dad see the child. I used to tell them, look, write letters to that baby. Write a letter to that baby every week. Because if your intention is to be in your child's life, then you will manifest it. Okay? Manifest that shit. You are a powerful creator. But see, we tend to want to think about, like I said, we go off on other people and how it worked for other people. This is your life. How is it going to work for you? You decide. You choose peace. You choose forgiveness. You choose compassion. I promise you, when you operate in those higher vibrations, shit works out for you. So you will eventually see that child again. And then when you see that child again, and this works for anybody, mothers, fathers, sisters, brothers, aunties, uncles, friends, okay? When you see them again, then they will know, just like Celie, color purple. Then they will know you thought about me all this time. Yes, that makes a difference. Crying without apology. You don't need, look, you just start crying, allow yourself to cry. No, because look, me, I'm gangster. I can't cry. I got to be strong. No, cry. Okay? This is why some of y'all just sporadically, spontaneously start crying because it done built up. Your body can't take it anymore. It got to release. So when you feel like crying, allow yourself to cry, okay? You don't have to apologize to anybody for that. Okay? Speaking your truth out loud to a friend, to a therapist, okay? I speak a lot of my truth through my podcast, through my lives. Okay? It's a lot of people who don't like it, and it's a lot of me not giving a shit. Yeah. Cuz this is my truth. All right? Cuz a lot of them spoke their truth. Truth. Okay? So I stayed quiet for a long time, okay? Because I had to heal. I did not want to speak out of bitterness. I did not want to speak out of resentment. I didn't want to speak out of those low vibrational, out of heartbreak, okay? I wised up. Spirit told me to shut up, sit back, heal. You will have your time to speak because the truth always stands, beloved. Always, okay? So, but speak your truth, okay? Creating something from that pain. If I could tell y'all what I'm creating, but Spirit told me just to pop out and show niggas. Heartbreak can be a beast if you allow it to be. But you can't get into, well, you can, but do not get into the mode of where you feeling like I'm never going to receive love, or love is bad, or because that's where the blockages come in. I'm still open to love. After all, I done been through a lot of heartbreak, a lot of unrequited love, me loving people and they're not loving me back. Okay, so I have been through, I faced a lot of rejection issues, abandonment issues, not feeling lovable. And that's what I kept attracting. It was only a manifestation of what was on the inside of me. That's why in 2015, like I like to spoil my man, right? And so I used to ask God, like, why the hell do I keep attracting all these takers? Nobody wants to, spoil me. I want to spoil them, but nobody wants to spoil me, right? And Spirit said, you the common denominator. So I had to look at myself. I was the only thing in common with all these relationships. So I had to look at myself and see what it was on the inside of me that was attracting this heartbreak because I got sick of it. But then it started to show up in other ways: friendships, jobs, careers. So there was something, it was a lack. I didn't feel lovable. I had abandonment issues. I had codependency issues. I had the fear of being rejected. So I had to work on all those things in order to turn that pain into power. That's where the healing comes in at, right? So this is why you healing your heartbreak is good for humanity, and it is. The fact that I'm able to sit here and talk about heartbreak and healing it and how it is so beneficial. How can I be at peace? How I found peace after being so heartbroken, after being stepped on, lied to, backstabbed, betrayed, disappointed, overlooked, undervalued, used, abused. How can my heart chakra still be open for love? Now, does that mean that I didn't have trust issues? Yeah, I'm still working on them daily. Okay? But daily, I open myself, like I never stop allowing people a chance. You know? I just don't keep allowing them. I don't keep giving chances. one of the things Spirit is telling me, me being able to accept people and situations for what they are and who they are, and me focusing on becoming the best version of myself helps me do that, because it's not about them. Okay, it's not about what they did, it's not about how they moved. At this point, whenever you're thinking about another person, your mind is off of you and what you're manifesting. Okay, so I don't want to give nobody power over my life. Yeah, I give nobody power over my life. I have the power. I took my power back. So therefore, I'm not going to constantly be sitting around thinking about you or wondering about you or wonder what you're doing. I'm not going to keep thinking about what was lost or what was in the past. Now there are times that I will think about that and I'll cry and I'll grieve it, and then Spirit will tell me, and then something will happen. Okay, something from the new beginning will percolate. That Spirit can draw my attention back over here to my new, to my beginning, to my wholeness, to what I deserve. I didn't deserve that shit. Why would I keep focusing on it? That's all I need to know, is that I didn't deserve it. So I'm going to leave that right there and focus on me and allow people, allow them to their own journey. Don't be bitter about it. People have their own journey. I'm not mad at you. I'm not mad at you for what you did. I'm not mad at you for how you moved, beloved. Thank you. Actually, you just played your part, because I grew from it. I got better because of it. My heart was even more open because of it. It turned me back to God. It realigned me. My family not believing in me, shooting shit at me, okay? Wanting a bitch to fail. All that was nothing but fuel to my fire. Because when nobody believed in me, God and I did. And that's all we needed, right? Made me more empathetic. And Spirit told me I can have empathy and not be empathic. Like don't be an empath. I don't have to absorb everyone's emotions. All right? I'm not going to. I set up energetic grids. If you want to learn how to do that, book a session. Okay? I really take control of my life. This is how my heartbreak has helped me heal to the point where it has made me a better person. And in turn, now I can tell you about my experiences. And I can really love you. I can really love people, whether they're assholes or not, whether they dwell in dark energy or not, because I understand it all matters. Glory. All of it matters. All of it has a part to play. So, how could I be mad? All right. I was in survival mode. Now I'm thriving mode. Why? Because I was heartbroken. It's like I put a video up the other day, right? And to get that olive oil out the olive, it has to be crushed. There is no anointing oil without being crushed, beloved. So if God had appointed me, God had a purpose over my life, then that heartbreak had to be part of the purpose. I am the one who had to see it like that. I am the one who had to surrender and trust the process and trust what God was doing in my life. I'm the one just had to do the work, focus on me, focus on healing my heart. No, and you know what? I had to do that alone, with nobody around. Nobody around. We always talk about hurt people, heal people too. So now that I have created a stable, safe place within myself, I can create an atmosphere that is safe and stable for you. Because I know I make you feel all homey and stuff, right? You feel safe in my energy. I know. Right? And there was a time I carried heartbreak like an armor, put up walls and barriers. Spirit said it was time to break those down. I didn't deserve that. If I kept those walls and barriers up, I would have never found true love. And that true love is my self-love, the love of God. And so now it's beginning to reflect in my relationships, in my partnerships, People supporting me, authentic support, not because they want something, you know. It's a whole new ball game. And I'm completely grateful. So how can I be mad at anybody who did anything? You played your part in my life. That heartbreak, beloved, it played a part in your life. Be grateful for it. It's a gift. We don't look at heartbreak as a gift, but it can be a gift. It can open us up instead of close us. As long as we are taking accountability and we can allow people to be them, forgive them, and not be in a state of bitterness. Stop asking why. Because if it happened in your life, then it was to grow you, to evolve you, to push you higher and higher. Okay? So wherever you are right now in your journey, whether you're in the middle of heartbreak or you're holding a scar from the past, right? I want you to know this. Your healing matters, beloved. It matters. Not just for you, but for all of us. That's some real shit. Because I want you to heal that so we can align. Okay? And once we align, that's like all that unconditional love. Because once you heal this, once you know how to heal heartbreak, that's when you learn how to be unconditional loving. And so if we get two people, that's how we are lifting the vibration from a state of fear to a state of love. Love conquers all, right? So your healing matters not just for you, but for all of us. Because a healed heart creates a healed world. Period. Okay? So I want to leave y'all with an affirmation here, and I am going to read it. And I want you to say this to yourselves, right? Whenever you're feeling lost or you're going through a heartbreak, like I said, it doesn't matter where you are in your journey. You can still say it. I'm going to still say it, okay? So it says, I honor my heartbreak as a sacred teacher. I give myself permission to feel, to heal, to grow. My healing is a gift to the world. I am whole. Even in my tenderness, I am whole. And I trust that love will meet me again, within and all around me. Because it will, y'all. Heartbreak doesn't have to be the end. It doesn't have to make you bitter. It doesn't have to make you envious, jealous. It can free you if you allow it. Okay? So I thank y'all for listening so much. Okay? I appreciate y'all being here and showing up, doing the hard work. Okay? I hope this episode spoke to you. All right, y'all, let me know what you think about it down in the comments. Okay? Like, subscribe, share. Share it to somebody like who is going through some heartbreak or who may need some guidance when it comes to heartbreak. Okay? So, but just remember, in this space, in this life, it all matters. All right. So I love y'all so much. Y'all go forth with the power of source behind you. Continue to dare to be different. Dare to dream your destiny. And y'all stay the fuck aligned, divine, and fine. Peace, y'all.